Hi, we're going to talk about the journalists in Mexico. My team are Quexaltor, Roberto Perez, and Elesban Santos.
The purpose of this video is to talk about journalism in Mexico, to make know what is it and what role this profession plays in our country. According to Encyclopedia Britannica, journalism is the collection, preparation, and distribution of news and related commentaries and materials through such as media as pamphlets, newsletters, newspapers, email, magazines, radio, television, and email.
Now I'm going to say the three different journalists that Mexico have. First one, environment journalists, is the one in the chain of subjects that are relative between the man and his natural environment. It includes everything from agriculture, livestock, meteorological, to social, economic, and political aspect. Second one, digital journalist is the one whose main means for research, development, and above all, the dissemination of the information of cyberspace with the internet has made exported. Third one and the last one is scientific journalist. Scientific journalist is the socialization of the journalist profession in the fact related to science, technology, innovation, environment, information of technology, archaeology, and astronomic activities. This is the list of the main problems facing journalists. It will require Mexicans of all the tribes to see violence against journalists as a national tragedy that undermines the country's democracy. As long as it remains some else problems, as long as it can be explained always as the result of the personal conflict at lower currently. Violence against journalists will continue unabated. The criminal, both political and judicial authorities and media industry will continue to operate as nothing is really to stop, though nothing could be further from the truth. What people are involved and how we are made affect. This situation went against journalists who are victims of the close relationship between governance elites and large media owners. This severely undermines the free exercise of the profession. Science media companies in the collusion with political and economic power drive their own political and economic agendas.
The risk of being a journalist in Mexico. Since journalism began in Mexico, this was the second country in the world with the highest number of journalists scaled. Currently is the first. In the following graph, we can see the behavior of how the risk of being of journalism in Mexico developed. Beginning in 1993 to 1994, were the investigations of journalists aimed to make public the movements of drug traffic groups. In this way, the risk went down until 1995, since the investigations of the journalists were directed mainly to political parties. The data remains fluctuating until the years 2000, where the cause of murders of journalists were related to conflicts that Mexico had with other countries. The case of numbers increased until 209, when the investigations into corruption and the relationship with narco-traffickants of figures in the power took the lives of approximately 109 journalists. The most dangerous countries for a journalist. Mexico has dominated the list of the most dangerous countries in the Americas for journalists after the country fell into the clutch of organized crime, violence, drug barons, and their complicity with state administration. Mentioned in a report presented by Research International Federation of Journalists. The report says that Mexico is the third country with the highest number of journalists killed in the last 25 years. The country occupies the third place among the most lethal nations to practice journalism, with 120 murders in the last 25 years, and being tracked with 309 homicides, and the Philippines with 146 cases. Importance of journalism. One of the most important tasks within Mexican society is that which is responsible of conducting research, analysis, and interpretation of data to get to the news. The mission of the journalist is the collection, synthesis, processing, and publication of current character, covering the information to appeal to credible sources so that the news that reaches the reader is as neutral and true as possible.
We interviewed a journalist from Puebla, the journalist Salvador Morales, whose work is characterized by begin the involvement in social, cultural situation, and musical environment. According with Salvador Morales, the journalist is mainly to capture the information. It is to know how to then manage and then transmit it and the audience. Practically, we handle the fluency of communication, that is, transmitting what someone generates and sending to the other person. Obviously, managing it correctly. The people like to know the news whether for leisure, interesting, learning, education. Usually, there is a way going to be someone who is interested in a specific topic.
Explanation of our proposal to solve these problems. One of the most important ways to solve these main problems that occur in our country with respect to journalists would be to enforce the workers' rights stipulated in Ley Federal del Trabajo, in Ley para la Protección de Personas Defensoras de los Derechos Humanos y Periodistas de México, and in Institución Política. Although there are laws that protect the rights and the work of these professionals, these are not met, and the public security institutions institutions do nothing to prevent or avoid this from happening anymore. As a result, if as a result, if a federal institution was created that specifically focused on enforcing the rights of journalists, columnists, and reporters, and really give follow-up and solution to cases in which their rights are violated, this will result in a decrease of problems in this workplace, doing that journalists can enjoy their work instead of fearing of their lives or incurring in manipulation of information.
We are going to close the video by taking a series of famous phrases in reference about why journalism is necessary. Great journalism will always attract readers. The words, pictures, and graphics that are the stuff of journalism have to be brilliantly packaged. They must fit the mint and move the heart. Rupert Murdoch. My experience in this final project was pleasant because I learned a lot about the situation of journalists in Mexico, the way they perform their work, and the risk that this implies. I enjoyed making the investigation and interviewing the journalist Salvador Morales, and I liked the team in where I worked.
I'm going to talk about the experience we had when we did all this project. Fears. Uh, it was a pleasure for me to have great partners like Exal and Roberto. We had a match in the work, and also I want to say This project, I like it because we interview people and we learn a lot about business and other vocabulary, and in the work I think we did nice. Thanks.
Finally, I'm going to talk about my experience too. I think that do this kind of works where we have to investigate about real situation in Mexico are interesting and important to improve our actions and raise awareness in Mexican society. The journalist situation is terrible. Everyone should enjoy their job and any job should be safe. Thank you.